Let's give it about 30 seconds to catch up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce you guys to, and women, to two really great co-founders of a company that I got to meet after ETH Global last year, I think it was. I won an award from Rarible Protocol DAO. And after winning that award for the streaming platform that we were putting together for ETH Global and ETH Online, one of the members of the Rarible DAO actually introduced me to Chase, and then Chase introduced me to Charlie and the rest of the team. And since then, I've really admired their project, their company. These guys are really doing marvelous things in the gaming space, the play to earn space. I really wanted them to join us today so that they could talk about their journey in the Web3 gaming crypto space. And I'm gonna let them take it over. They have a company called Arena, and you know, let's talk, listen, and have your questions ready for when they open up for questions. Okay, guys, you can take it over.
Cool, thank you. Thank you very much for the kind words and the intro, Jacoby. So my name's Chase. I'm one of the founders of Arena, and our concept's pretty simple. It's play to earn for any game. So it doesn't matter if it's a crypto game, if it's chess, if it's Call of Duty. If there's a group of people playing a game, trying to coordinate, you know, strangers on the internet playing, or even amongst friends, we will compensate them for using our tools, infrastructure, team, league, brackets, with our own Arena token. So that's the core concept. And I guess a little bit of backstory for how we got here. Charlie and I were colleagues at a crypto exchange called Shapeshift. And very coincidentally, we were like Jerry and Kramer neighbors in our building. We didn't know each other, but we worked together and we were like direct neighbors, became great friends. Charlie, I think, hatched this idea late one night where we were playing video games about doing something in crypto and something in gaming, and kind of the rest is history. So, you know, there's been a massive amount of success for some huge projects in the play to earn space. The gold standard is probably Axie Infinity. I think like more Filipinos have, you know, Ethereum addresses today than have savings accounts because, or sorry, that's a US stat. More Filipinos today have Ethereum addresses than have credit or debit cards. And that's just a wild stat in terms of, you know, adoption and people being involved in a space. The interesting thing about Axie, they've been enormously successful. They've built this economy within this game. They've built their own blockchain to support this game. One of the things that we kind of talked about is, well, a lot of people are playing play to earn games to make money or to grind out rewards. And we're kind of gamers. Like we love gaming, we love playing video games. So we wanted to go where gamers are and, you know, take a crypto economic incentive system and drop that on top of what gamers already love doing. And I'll tell you, part of the strategy too is it's really hard to make a game that's still fun and still relevant over the course of time. I was trying to think about this the other day. Are there any games I played when I was younger that I still play today? And there are a couple. Like I still fire up Tetris every now and again, but not really. Not if we're talking about like gaming, like really getting into a gaming experience. I'm not playing the same games today that I was even playing, you know, 5 years ago. So we kind of took this Amazon approach. We want the infrastructure. We want to go to where gamers are. And you know, reward them for their time and attention. And the beautiful thing is crypto enables us to do that. I will stop rambling. I'll let Chuck give a little bit of background. Maybe you could talk about the stack, you know, what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and take it from there.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm Charlie. I'm the CTO of Arena, and I'll kind of give a little bit more background on how Arena got started and kind of where it is today. So today, Arena is still this crypto community gaming platform. So we're trying to give influencers and streamers and YouTubers and all these, you know, community organizers and like people who run Discord servers, we try to give them a better set of like infrastructure tools to help manage and run these events. Like Discord's great for meeting people, but it's really hard to run an event through that platform. And so when we first started, we kind of found that like there wasn't really a cohesive app out there to like organize and run events with your community. And so the original idea for Arena was actually when Chase and I were working at Shapeshift, I kind of was becoming obsessed with like kind of this post initial coin offering boom, the ICO boom in 2017, where it seemed like there's all these cryptocurrency projects that were just kind of saying they're kind of coming into this space with just an idea, and they're raising $20-30 million on just basically a one-page idea. But one of the companies raised a bunch of money, was trying to do kind of like competitive wagering, but everything was built around their token, and it kind of fell apart for that reason, because a lot of people didn't see the value in the token, but they did see the value in like competing with friends online. So the original idea of Arena was like that basically we would help find people online. People would put money into like an Ethereum smart contract. So people would put in like crypto, like Ethereum at the time, and then we would match them up in a game and automatically pay them out. So this was really exciting because battle royales became really popular. So like Fortnite's and Players Unknown Battlegrounds and Warzone hadn't come out yet. What was it just about to come out? And the exciting thing about those was the idea of like, oh, I could bet $1, and then the game would find like 100 other people who bet $1, and we go play, and then I would automatically win $100. And so it's like a pretty cool economies of scale with the battle royales. And so that's kind of was like the original idea for Arena, was to do that. And it was all really cool because smart contracts and crypto kind of brings trust to like a trustless environment. Like a lot of people want to wager online against people, but you either need like a custodian intermediary. So like we need to both send $1 to Chase, and then Chase needs to hold it, watch the game, and then pay us out. And that's really expensive to have like a human hold the money. We now have to trust this other person or this entity. And we have to trust that they're going to watch the game and then pay us out correctly. And they'll also take a pretty big cut because it's expensive to do that. And Ethereum and a lot of these blockchain smart contracts can automate a lot of these things for us. We can basically have this programmable thing that everybody can see. We can all throw money into it, and we know exactly what's going to happen because the contract's going to pay out automatically. So it kind of brings a lot of trust to this environment, this ecosystem of gamers, especially like competitive gaming, where people would like to try and wager money for skills that they have. Like Madden's a really big game where there's a ton of competition, a lot of people betting on Madden and betting on gaming. So it's a really popular like space for this. And again, smart contracts are just going to kind of enable a better future for that. So that was kind of the original idea, and that's where we were going, and we're kind of like taking the long way back to it because when we were doing that, that's when we kind of realized the tool set for building and running these events was kind of short, and so that's where Arena kind of pivoted more into like community gaming, and we've been doing that for like the last 18 months and just really growing the platform for communities and these people to kind of enable them to run these events. And now we're kind of starting to bring back wagering into the platform now. So that's where Arena's at now. Jacoby, is there anything else you'd like to kind of get into with Arena, or do you want to kind of open it up for questions and just see because we can kind of just open it up for questions and see what people want to talk about?
What has your last 6 months been like?
Do you want to get started, Chase?
Tumultuous. Yeah. No, I mean, crypto is a wild world. Markets are up, markets are down. As a founder, whatever, you've been in crypto for a while, so the prices kind of start affecting you less and less. But in terms of like capital markets and investors and VCs and sentiment. It is an absolute roller coaster. So that's kind of the in some ways it's kind of fun. It's fun on the way up, and it's kind of a gut punch on the way down. But you know, that's the life we chose, and it's always exciting. I think in terms of like build and what we've achieved, you know, it's been really rewarding. We're creeping up on 50,000 users now, and we have some announcements, some tech we're building out that we think is absolutely going to explode in, you know, the coming weeks and months. So it's been really exciting. You know, we closed a round in the last 6 months. We've delivered a ton of tech. We have, we've done a lot.
Yeah, it's been an interesting time, especially like the NFT boom. The NFT boom has like really captured a lot of attention, and it's kind of lasted longer than I was expecting. And I think for some really compelling reasons. I think, again, kind of 2017, when Ethereum tokens became really popular, they became a really popular fundraising mechanism, and they kind of had a lot of the similar things. Like there's just a lot of similarities between 2017 and 2021 as far as just like ability to raise capital off seemingly very little. And so I thought the NFT boom was kind of going to be some kind of replicate that a lot. But I think the last 6 months kind of showed, I feel like a lot of this is here to stay, and just kind of creativity and just how many new people are coming into the space. So the NFT craze has been really exciting, and it's really cool to see what projects are coming up with, and like all these new reward systems and game systems and game theory. And it's really cool to be a part of it, and like kind of like be building this gaming platform alongside this space, where like gaming NFTs are becoming such a big thing. Like 100 Thieves just released like a free NFT collectible on Polygon that like anybody could get. Like that was a really cool thing to see how many people were interested in just getting this NFT from a popular esports organization. So it's been crazy, because I think I just don't think anyone really saw this NFT marketplace blowing up the way it has, and it's fun to like kind of just be a part of it right now and see how gaming is going to overlap with it.
You know, that brings me to a really interesting question, Charlie. I know we talked about software stacks and just listening to some of the stuff that you are saying now. Do you ever feel any pressure, and if you do feel pressure, how do you handle the way the market or the way the tech is so rapidly evolving?
Yeah, so a lot of my job is like trying to put us in the best place from a technical standpoint. Like tech already moves so fast. Writing software changes so fast. If any of you are familiar with writing like JavaScript or like front end code, like there's a new framework every other day. Like it's a lot. You just have to be running so fast just to keep up in the tech space. And then crypto is twice that fast. There's a new paradigm, a new blockchain, a new project. Like there's just something that goes on that like is really trying to move the needle and really trying to change the game. And so a lot of my time is like reading and researching. So there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of pressure to like make good choices. And blockchain technology is really exciting because of the longevity of it. And so making our choices early becomes like compounding, where it's like choosing the wrong chain or choosing the wrong project feels like it could be kind of detrimental to a company. Like if you know, as Arena, we're going to launch on XYZ chain, and XYZ chain kind of goes bust, it's like we might kind of go along with them. Like we might be too tied to a ship that's sinking. And so there's a lot of pressure to like see where the market's going and try and predict the market. And that's because this crypto space is like, this is 100-year space. Like this is going to change everything. And we're still right at the start. I think there's always this like feeling like maybe you missed the boat. Maybe like it's a bit too late. Bitcoin's already 60 grand or whatever. That's just not the case. Like so few people are introduced into crypto. It is such a global space, like, and it's becoming more and more global. And all these blockchains are changing a lot of like how finance works and how gaming is going to work. And so I feel a lot of pressure just to stay up to date, because I think we're making very long-term decisions. Like this is a decision we have to make in the next couple of weeks. but it's going to be it's like a 10-year decision in a space that changes dramatically week to week.
So that actually is a great segue to Chase then. You know, with me being a solo entrepreneur most of the time, I do feel pressure when it comes to building the tech, but then in the crypto space, you definitely have to understand, you know, things like tokenomics and just learning how the business of crypto is evolving so rapidly. How do you address that, Chase?
Yeah, I think I'm really fortunate because I've just been in the space for so long. I launched one of those ICOs in 2017. You know, so I've kind of like lived through several generations of you know, crypto adoption, and was fortunate to see what worked in some areas for certain projects or blockchains and what didn't work for others. So some of that stuff is kind of second nature to me now, just by virtue of having experience there. Like we mentioned before, Charlie and I worked at an exchange, so we got pretty intimately familiar with a lot of different projects, and got to see real hands-on, talk to the founders, figure out what works for projects and what doesn't. So that experience was really invaluable. It's still really hard to nail token economics. And unfortunately, one of the bad habits I think, you know, we still have in crypto is investors, VCs, the general public, the media, they want to see, you know, they want to see white papers. They want to see pre-product. Here's the full plan in, you know, excruciating detail for why this is going to be a success. And this is how all of these parts are going to work. You don't have product market fit yet. You don't have any users yet. You haven't even built a platform yet, but tell me exactly how it's going to go and why it's going to be a success. And what we've seen is that, you know, there's always a lot of assumptions that any tech project team entrepreneur will make along the way. Like no one has a crystal ball. No one knows which way the road is going to turn. And what ended up happening was a lot of these projects, especially from 2017, got backed into a corner based on commitments that they had in their white paper or economic design flaws, and then the project flopped. So I think a better approach is treat it like tech, be iterative, you know, find where you get traction, add features as you go along, add utility to your token, add functionality, add financial benefit. You know, as you have more users, as you have more partners, as your platform and your infrastructure builds out, that to me makes a lot more sense. It puts crypto more in line with tech than with lofty academic, you know, economics discussions on what people think is going to work. And that's the approach we took. Now, unfortunately, you know, if you're going to go start a project today, I don't know if investors really want to hear that. They're kind of stuck in their ways of like, you know, give me the DeFi primitives and what the TVL is going to be in 6 months and why it's going to be like. So market needs to mature a little bit, maybe on the investment side. Remember, this is technology. So that's how we deal with it. You know, we treat our token as a piece of tech itself that we iterate on.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty innovative, actually. Really, really innovative. So I'm opening up to the audience for anyone that might have some questions. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you can just talk and it'll pick you up.
For the gamers that are getting into this, that want to get paid, what do you possibly recommend? I just actually have 2 friends that are getting into professional gaming. I sent them over your link and they're very, very interested. But as incoming gamers, what do you recommend just as they kind of learn the landscape with the crypto and gaming, because they play many different tournaments and stuff like that?
As far as just to clarify your question, are you more curious about like if you want to be a professional gamer, like what's the best way to like try and start making an income stream?
I'm actually more so how to get involved more into your platform, like what are,
Oh, yeah. So I can talk about that. So yeah, so with our platform specifically, the main thing that is like we're trying to grow for streamers and for gamers is kind of like their club. So their club on our platform is kind of like it's like their channel on YouTube or their channel on Twitch. Your club is kind of like your organizational unit. And it's like the thing that we want to help you build like equity in. So kind of this the long-term vision for Arena is like, especially after seeing everything going on with Twitch and YouTube and some of these things, which are amazing platforms, but like the problem with some of them, especially with Twitch, is kind of like these like deplatforming stuff that's going on, which is you've built this huge channel or you've built this huge streaming community and yet you don't really own it. It's like if Twitch shuts down your stream or YouTube shuts down your channel, like you kind of lost a lot of this equity you built up. So for Arena, like if people came to our platform, they could basically have a club and they can start recruiting members and start playing and start earning tokens. And tokens on our platform can be used to, you can buy anything from like an Oculus Quest 2, which a lot of people love to do. You can buy like little digital items that like help level up your club and like earn more stuff. And then we also do like what are called sponsorship stones, which like on Arena, like the more you play and the more things you do on Arena, you can earn these things that are like, tangible dollars of like $1,000, $250, like these, and they kind of get dropped on our site every now and again. So there's this short-term roadmap of like, you can earn money just by playing games and doing the things you like to do on the site. And then there's this like kind of more long-term, like 2-3 year vision, which is like, you're going to be building equity in a club that we're going to kind of like unlock all the value in with crypto. Like your club will have like NFTs and tokens that will have value. You'll be able to sell those and like sell them to your community and like earn future revenue. You can be a part of the Arena DAO in the future, which is like, we'll do like income sharing, ad sharing, rev share. So like all these things in the future where like in the short term, you can just play games and start like building your club or your business on Arena. And then the long term, you're going to be a part of like, instead of just being like a streamer on Twitch, you'll be like a part owner in Arena. You'll be a club owner. You'll be a part of like our DAO and you'll be able to vote on like events we do and like things like that.
thank you.
Cool. Does that answer your question? I'm more than happy to go into more detail there.
That's spot on. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool.
I have a question, Mr. Sacco.
Hey, how are you? So, have you gotten the attention of the tax man? And what are you doing about that over $599?
So, yeah, I mean, our structure is pretty rock solid. All of the crypto stuff runs through a foundation, similar to the way, Ethereum's set up. But what Arena is it's a development company based in the States that, pays taxes and files all the forms with the IRS. And, our other co-founder finished up the books for the past couple of months. So, when you say,
I mean, if I'm a participant and I've accumulated over $600 worth of payout, do you have to like send them a 1099? That type of activity.
So by the time we have a price feed on the token, we will be sufficiently decentralized and there will be no entity that issues the 1099. So right now, people are just earning token for perceived future value. Think about like mining Bitcoin in 2009, 2010. There's no markets yet, but you're accumulating it. Our goal will be to decentralize over time. And once you're sufficiently decentralized, there is no entity that, we're in DAO land, and it is very much a legal gray area, but there is no one that the tax man could get uppity about 1099s. We as developers would just be people who maintain the site and do other things at the behest of the foundation, which is not a US organization.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm also
Yes.
not a lawyer. retained Fenwick, so they tell us what to do in this regard. So take that with that asterisk on there as well.
Yeah, this the legal and tax side is like it's always kind of this like looming gray area, and I think as a business you kind of have to pick your risk tolerance. You have to pick like how far into the gray you want to go and like what you're willing to accept, and kind of like where you envision the space going. So taxes and those types of things, like we're definitely kind of in the gray, and we kind of have this view of like we're going to move our business into a DAO. And a DAO, for those of you who might not know, it stands for like decentralized autonomous organization, which is basically people who would hold Arena tokens now are like part owners in Arena, and they can start making votes on. We could have votes on who's going to be the CEO. We could have votes on the board. We could have votes on what games they're going to play, like what payout structures are going to be, like what sponsors do we want for our gaming events. Yeah, do we want Gamer Fuel or Monster, or G Fuel or Monster? And so it's like, so those are like where we're going as a business, is we're kind of in this belief that DAOs are going to be kind of this future business structure for us and for a lot of people. And those are going to have different tax advantages because they don't fall under the same kind of regulation as a lot of like US based entities. Yeah. And again, all that said is that's kind of our preference as a company. And that's kind of where we believe it's going, but it certainly isn't legal advice, and like definitely talk to people and kind of figure out where you want to be if you're starting your own company.
You can be anywhere. You can talk. Okay. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
I know you can't, so it's hard to see. My name is Ryan Johnson. I'm from Atlanta. Our organization, we actually own and operate a collegiate esports league, but we focus primarily on HBCUs. So if you're familiar with like NACE, CSL, Collegiate Star League, we work with a lot of those various groups. But it's interesting, everything you all are saying. I would be very open to touch base with you. We're having conversations right now with groups. You may be familiar like the Cat Arena, Path DAO, around taking the community in Web 2 and traditional gaming into Web 3. One of the areas that I'm interested in is like the play to earn traditional games, like you said, right? There's Axie Infinity, and there's all these Web 3 titles. So I would be interested to learn. We have a pretty robust community here in North America already, and we just made our first hire out of Nigeria because we've identified a very, very large gaming community in Africa. So transparently, I would like to learn a little bit more just about like your strategies on how that actually works. Like the gentleman asked, like if we have a community or a Discord server with existing users, they're playing on a weekly basis, what it would be that process for guys in like guys or ladies like an NBA 2K and Madden and Call of Duty, Fortnite, how could they be earning on your platform, considering that they have like a lot of in-game economics for like virtual currencies to date? I'm just trying to understand that conversion a little bit better.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's really cool. That's awesome that you're doing that. And if you want to, and Jacoby as our contact, would love to chat with you and talk more about what you're doing and to see if Arena could be helpful. But more specifically, for like that kind of use case, is the reason I think we really like Arena is gamers kind of want to get paid for the games they're already playing. And some of the Web3 platforms that are like play to earn is you have to go play their game. And it's like, oh yeah, you can kind of have this financial reward, but I have to go do something I don't want to do. Where our platform is much more like organize events and play with your friends and play with communities or run leagues around things you really like to do, and you'll earn tokens for doing it. So like on our site, there's like a bounties page. So if on that bounties page, you can see like, go play in an event and you earn 100 tokens, like go, start a club and like recruit 10 people and you'll get like 1,000 tokens. And then, so for your club with like a bunch of people, you could run, NBA 2K leagues, you could run, whatever type of leagues you want. And our platform will facilitate all of that. And it'll keep track of all the players and all their stats. And then they'll all be earning tokens the whole time along the way.
Part two question to that. The actual token itself to date, is it like a token that you all, and I missed the beginning, so I apologize if you say this. Is it a token that you all created? Is it like USDC? Like what is the actual tokenomics of this right now?
Yeah, so Arena token is an ERC20 token. However, everything you use on the platform is currently a platform credit. And so this is kind of what Chase talked about, where we are kind of this belief that like it's okay not to have like all this stuff figured out, and just like we create this token, we want people to start earning it, and we want to start just continue to infuse the token with benefits. So like the token just launched. When we launched it, you couldn't do anything with it. Like you just started earning tokens. And it was really interesting because we had so many users start coming back to our site, and like they just wanted to do anything they could to earn more tokens. And I was like, and we didn't even tell them what it was for or what we were going to do with it, but people just wanted to earn it. And then we eventually added like a marketplace. And so the marketplace, you can do things like you can stake in contests. And these can be things from, like winning an Oculus 2 headset, or like winning stuff on the site, or winning swag, or winning cash prizes to help like sponsor prize pools for events, which is really popular. So we try to sponsor a lot of prize pools for leagues and communities. Like, a lot of people are putting a lot of effort into these events, and it's really nice to get some supplemental income to, some cash for me and some cash for the community. So the marketplace has a bunch of things like that. So the tokenomics around it is much more us driving potential utility into it, and like trying to develop a lot of things around the platform. And then all the tokens journey on the platform will eventually be crypto tokens. And that's kind of what we talked about kind of at the start, is trying to decide what chain that's going to be on. It's right now they're Ethereum tokens, but they will probably be airdropped on either Ethereum or Polygon or something like similar to that. So all the things you earn will eventually be a real cryptocurrency token that you could withdraw the platform, start trading with, and do a bunch of stuff with.
Yeah, Ethereum's great. We're all Ethereum people. We love Ethereum, but you can't ask, gamers who don't have unlimited disposable income to spend $1,000 on fees every time they use your platform. So we've got to be cognizant of who our user base is and make sure that the platform's accessible, smooth, fluid, frictionless for them.
That brings me to another question for both of you, for both Chase and Charlie. I know we talked a lot about like games that already exist that you can connect to your platform, but correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe explain it if I am right. Can you do stuff that's actually outside of a conventional gaming console and traditional game on Arena? Like say for instance.
Yeah. You theoretically, like this event we're hosting today could have been hosted on Arena. It could have been an event of organizing people and doing stuff. We definitely feel that the platform is mostly suited for gaming events. Like there's brackets and round robins and those types of things, and a lot of tooling has like direct integrations to games. And so like when you host an event, so we have a really big chess community. So like with chess, we like directly connect with like chess.com. So we pull in ratings, match history, and then we can like automatically match you up against people and things like that. So we do have this platform that's very game agnostic, and that's pretty deliberate because it's really hard to develop for games. Like game APIs change all the time. Game data is like very specific, and it's not always a guarantee that it'll be available, and you become very coupled to that game being popular, and games change popularity very quickly. I think you kind of these long standards of the World of Warcrafts or FIFAs or Maddens, these things that kind of last a long time. But other than that, games are very flavor of the month, and so we wanted a platform that could accommodate that. So events are on Arena. It's kind of the backbone of like how you earn tokens and how we organize things, and it's very generic. Like events can be like you're hosting an event for just like your gaming organization to like meet up and talk or go through something, or it can be as like fine-tuned as like we're going to do a single elimination tournament bracket for everyone in this. Or we could also fight, or we call them club battles. We could like challenge another club on the platform to a club battle and kind of have this like cross community competition, which seem to be really fun and people really enjoy.
That sounds great. Does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up?
I have a question.
One of the big things within Web3 that I've seen so far, that a lot of people are starting to ask for is more information about the charity work that a lot of the either NFT projects, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology companies doing. So what all have you seen in that space as it's kind of evolved? One of the biggest things about Web3 is people not being super happy about the way that the money that we do provide to these corporations sometimes aren't used in a way in which actually helpful. So what all have you seen, and what are you all trying to do to address one of those concerns that's fairly prevalent in the Web3 space?
Sorry, I missed it. Can you say what are we doing with regard to what specifically?
So like charity donations, interactive collaborations with nonprofits, work with organizations for change, you know, putting that real world, quote unquote, utility for a lot of these projects is something in NFT space. A lot of times people are partnered with, but it may not be on the forefront. So what have you all seen in Web3 in general as it pertains to that?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly like the interesting thing about crypto is, you know, if you have crypto in a wallet that you control and you have a connection to the internet or a node that is connected to the blockchain, you can transact. So in a way, like there is a way that there could be censorship, you know, think, you know, police knocking at your door, guns to your head. You're not going to sit there and send a Bitcoin transaction. But at the end of the day, you can't get unbanked from crypto. You can't get, you know, canceled from the network. Your wallet can't be blacklisted. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because if you're using something like USDC or Tether, those are centralized projects, and they absolutely can change the balance in your wallet of the ERC20 token that you're holding for their specific project. There was, I think it was a Japanese guy who sent over $1 million to the wrong, he sent it to like a burn address, and Tether was actually able to refund him. So decentralization is a double-edged sword. It means bad people and good people can use, you know, can use the product indiscriminately. But kind of like, I think all technology is like that. But before I keep going further, I feel like I might be getting sidetracked on what your question is. I do see, I mean, whether you agree with it or not, I think what's going on up in Canada right now is kind of like a giant crypto advertisement, because there's a lot of people who don't have access to their bank accounts now. There's the whole gives, I don't want to mess up the name. There's a charity donation platform where at first they announced that they were going to take the donations and repurpose them, and then they got a lot of backlash. So they said, okay, we're going to do refunds. But crypto kind of bypasses all of that. You can use crypto to do whatever you want, again, for good or for bad. So I think Nick Carter has a famous quote saying, like, what Bitcoin really needs to be is money for your enemies. So it needs to work even for the people who you really don't want it to work for. Because at the end of the day, that's what liberty and freedom are all about. So yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot more platforms, things like Tally, for crypto donations. Because it adds crypto isn't as private as people think it is, but it certainly adds a layer of anonymity that's different from like a bank account. And if you know what you're doing, you certainly can be private. And it's just going to be a safer way to transact in the future. You know, a lot of stuff's going on in the world right now where people are saying like, oh, you did this 10 years ago. Well, maybe your politics changed, or maybe your positions changed, or maybe you just don't want people knowing that you know, donated money to Athlete's Foot Foundation. I have no idea. But crypto kind of powers the ability to kind of live a free life. And I think we're going to see platforms proliferate and expand that enable people to do that.
Also a comment on like it's kind of not like we're doing a lot of stuff, but like also like as far as like nonprofit and these types of things, like DAOs I think are going to be like the future structure of like nonprofits and these types of organizations where like you get a lot more transparency into like where donation dollars are going and what they're being spent on and like what they're being used for and like what you care about. So like, you know, there's I think a platform called Giveth, which is like where you can like basically sponsor charities and sponsor things, and all the money goes into these like open and viewable wallets and balances. And then as like people who want to use those proceeds, you basically make like requests to like use funds from the wallet. And then as someone who's like sent money, you basically can vote on like whether you think those are like good uses of the funds. So it's kind of like a tangent, not so much related to us, but like I think like NFTs and tokens and DAOs are going to be huge in the nonprofit space. And like just being able to bring like a ton of transparency is like where the money's going, what it's being spent on, and like having some voting power and some real say into like where it actually does go, as opposed to I really care about this thing. Maybe I'll just go throw some company some money and hopefully it does something, versus like I can throw money into a smart contract and now I have like voting power over what's going to happen with that money for causes I'm really passionate about. So
Yeah, one more final point. I recently bought an NFT that was 100%. It was a food security philanthropy in New York. The guy who did the Ringers project, was enormously financially successful, did another project called Dead Ringers, and all of the proceeds from that went to food security for communities in New York. So I bought that because I thought it was a good cause. But you know what else is really cool? I now have this super cool NFT that I can display. So kind of adds a level of dimensionality to like giving, because you get something cool back too. And I know that's not what the spirit of giving should be, but it was a nice bonus. I was super pumped about it.
Pretty awesome. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up here. Chase and Charlie, thank you so much for tuning in during this time. I know you're at East Denver, and Charlie, it looks like you're packing at home.
yeah, hacking at home. I'm trying to avoid the cold. It snowed too much here. So actually got like this like grandpa back warmer, keep myself warm. So
It's the same here. It's snowing a lot here. But we definitely thank you for joining in with us during NBA All-Star Weekend. We got a lot of great information from you, and you know I'll be in touch pretty soon. So
yeah. Thanks, Jacoby. And yeah, please feel free to share my contact with anything. I'm always happy to chat about this stuff. I know Web3 and crypto can be daunting, but if you guys are gamers and crypto, or just like kind of want to know some people in the space, like I'm always happy to talk. So feel free to share my info.
Likewise. Thanks so much, Jacoby, and pleasure to be here, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah.
have a great day.
All right. See ya.